bookstore.
I am corporate customer.
Are you Eric
I am.
Company Limited? Are you?
All right. Hello there, traders.
Hi.
We are back
At Comic Book Company store.
At corporate offices, comic book store.
Yes, we are. Hi there.
Hi. All right. Episode 38. Everything's late. Nobody dies.
38. Wow.
38.
Look at us go.
I remember 38.
I don't.
Not far.
1938.
Yeah. Some days
wow.
I think so.
Yeah. I remember. I 38. That would have been for me 2000s. Yeah, 2008 would have been 38. Yes, 80s. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember the 80. Oh no, I don't remember.
No, you
much
don't.
Of the 80s.
You're thinking of something else. You're thinking of something you remember.
Yeah, I actually remember the 70s better than I remember the 80s.
Oh wow.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah, actually, I do too. I know why I don't remember a lot of the 80s. But anyway, let's talk about Corporate Comic Book Company.
Right on.
Headquarters.
So it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Stopped in briefly to say hi yesterday, but
you were in Illinois by Chicago territory.
I was around Chicago.
Nice. That's where I'm going to be tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, not when anybody's watching this. By the time you all watch this and figure, we're going to go to his house and take his comic books, I'll already be back. I'll be back
by then.
Oh, no, wait, we're live. Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, we get far more views over the weekend than we get live. So, yeah, it's possible.
Fair. Okay. Well, come on down. It's 123 any Maple Street town, USA 811111. That's my address.
On Maple Street.
Yes, Maple Street.
You know, Elm Street, most common name.
Yeah.
That's why they named the movie Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow. I like that.
Just
everybody
has
an Elm Street.
Yeah. They're all
I remember
over the place.
that in the terrible Freddy's Dead one.
Yeah.
When he said that everybody has an Elm Street.
There was an Elm Street where I grew up.
Yeah. There's actually an Elm Street right down the road here.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't make sense. Not the most common tree in America. So.
No. What is the most common tree?
Dollar
maple. Tree?
Red maple.
Dollar tree. There's more Dollar Trees than
there are more Dollar Trees.
I'm a little tired today, so it's going to be a weird rambling conversation, whatever we end up on. So anyhow, yay, Dollar Tree. Okay.
So a couple of weeks, I haven't been around here. I've been in tons of other comic shops across the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Some good, some bad, some interesting.
Some happy, some sad.
Yeah. So a couple of the subjects that we touched on, I thought it was real funny. Went into North Platte, Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
There's a game store there that sells comic books.
There's no trees there either.
There are very few trees.
Yeah.
But Buffalo Bill Cody, like his ranch was there, and there's like go-karts now.
At Buffalo Bill Cody's ranch?
Yeah, Buffalo Bill Cody's ranch. Go-karts.
Are they in the shape of horses? Because they should be. Like they totally should be. They
send you around the track on a go-kart, and they have some Annie Oakley looking chick come out with 6-shooters and just start firing at you.
That seems uncomfortable.
But it's an attraction, and it's what they got.
It's a thing.
But yeah, North Platte, Nebraska, went into a comic shop. It was so weird. They had new books, mostly the big two.
Mm-hmm.
They did have Spawn, and I don't even recall seeing Walking Dead, but mostly Marvel, DC, and then they had tons of back issues.
Mm-hmm. So
I was going through the back issues, saw a couple books I was interested in, and this is a subject we've talked about a few times. The question is, how much are the back issues?
Mm-hmm.
How do you price your back issues? Are they all $5? Are they a buck? What's going on there? And apparently, to price out your books, you had to bring them up to the counter. Then the person, whoever's working at the counter, had to call the owner of the company, who would look them up online in an undisclosed place to tell you how much the book is.
Okay, well, if I'm ever around there, just write down the name of that store that I won't go to.
That is just.
Why would you complicate it? It's a store, man.
It was the craziest thing I'd ever heard. And he's not even physically there to look at the condition of the book.
He just gets a title and a number and says, "This is how much."
Yeah.
And okay, you know what? That's like going to Walmart. Nothing is priced.
Yeah.
You bring a bag of chips up to the counter and they say, "Oh, okay, hold on just a second. I'm going to call Sam Wall." And then he's going to
Well,
look
that's going
up.
to be hard at this point, but yeah.
Well, I do you hear? Is there anyone there? Is there anyone here? Sam Wall?
Probably just as effective, however.
Yeah, more than likely. Or I mean, whoever, Martha Wall, or I don't know, whoever the crap owns that stuff now. Man.
Yeah,
and just being like, oh, okay, well, look it up on Amazon and see how much they're selling potato chips for. Yeah. That is ridiculous.
Yeah,
how is anybody?
Crazy.
I mean, I have a hard time with this stuff, because I mean, I don't want to, because I'm a comic shop owner. I don't want to slam on other shops. But my God, man, how do you do business? How do you do business?
I don't have a problem slamming on the bad shops. I don't have a problem with it at all.
I don't know how. I don't know how you stay in business doing that. I don't know how you can do it.
Makes no sense at all.
I mean, that would be, 10 minutes to find out what one comic book cost.
Oh, at least.
And what if it was a Wednesday, man? What if you have 10 people waiting up here to pay? I mean, what, are you going to buy 5 back issues and 3 new ones and you're going to be there for an hour? That's insane.
Yeah. And I see, I walk in there and there are a lot of video games, a ton of video games. And then they did D&D, a lot of Magic and Warhammer stuff. So they're one of these stores that buys into the philosophy that you have to diverse from comics to make a comic shop work. But they're not even doing comics right. I mean, well, good on you. You can sell current issues.
Yeah.
But if you don't have your stuff priced.
Well, the reason that a lot of the places have to branch out is because they're not doing the comics right.
Yeah.
They're doing stuff like this. And so obviously, if you've got somebody that is running a store like that, I'm sorry, this kind of pisses me off. And because before I had a store, I remember going into a lot of stores, and buying stuff, having a good time buying stuff, looking at things, and I've had that annoyance when it's like, okay, this is how much this is. There was a place in your old stomping grounds that we have talked about before, and then I brought stuff up, and they're like, "Oh no, that's not the price." I'm like, "Well, why is that the price on the book?"
Right.
They say, "Well, hold on, let me look it up." And this is long enough ago that they're like, "Let me look it up in Wizard." I'm like, what? I mean, 20 years ago, Wizard was not a price guide. 30 years ago, it was really not a price guide. You know what I mean?
Right.
And 30 years ago, it was one of those things where people would buy something and be like, "Oh, cool, it's worth a lot of money," even though it's not. And they did that, and that just annoys me, man, because you've got you can't help customers like that. And I have a comic shop, but I'm gonna pop by a comic shop this weekend when I'm out of town.
Oh yeah,
see what's going on, man. I always want to go.
And there's a lot of great shops where you're. I mean, up in Chicago, a lot of great shops in Chicago.
Yeah. And I don't understand, why you would want to piss somebody off when they're there to give you money. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just that simple.
Well, and I get the fact that the young lady that was working there, and I asked her, part of this whole thing was I was going to these shops because I wanted to introduce myself and give them my card and have that conversation. You need somebody to press and clean your books and whatnot. The young lady, I asked her, because I knew at this point she wasn't the owner.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they were a chain store. They've got 8 stores in the area. So I didn't know they were a chain store.
Wow.
They do their own exclusives and stuff. But this one store, that's how she had to price comic books. And I get that she's not a comic book person. She was very knowledgeable on video games.
Uh-huh.
I asked her if she's a manager, and she said, no, we don't have managers. We all just work here. I think that's, if you're building that model where you're going to franchise out and have different shops, maybe with a responsible person that knows they're responsible in charge.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts. And then price your stuff yourself if you can't trust the employees that are there.
Right.
To put the prices on them or talk knowledgeably about them. You do the work, or just don't throw a bunch of comic books out there.
Yeah.
Keep them in the store that you're in, where you know the prices, or you have them handy there to look up.
Yeah. That's just, I don't know. That seems crazy to me.
But on the converse of that, there's another store, and the cities get me really confused. It wasn't in Omaha. It was in, what's the city right next to Omaha? Starts with an L. Anyway,
Louisiana.
It's not Laramie, Wyoming.
Louisiana, New Orleans.
Which Laramie, Wyoming, whole different. That's a disaster. I keep wanting to say Lexington, but that's not right either.
That's Kentucky.
So
Lincoln?
Yeah, Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
That's right. President Lincoln, Nebraska. So it's Laramie, Wyoming, which is next to the Lincoln Memorial. Lincoln, Nebraska is where we stayed.
Which is next to the Laramie Memorial.
So in Lincoln, Nebraska, there's a shop I went into, Mad Viking Comics, and it was a comic shop. That's all they had.
Mm-hmm.
It was obviously some collector that decided, all right, I'm going to be a comic shop now, and then just threw all of his books, and then he gets new books in there. But I was there. He worked for the railroad, so he was out of town, and his mom was watching the shop. Mom knows nothing about comics. Sweet lady, but knows nothing about comics. Every single book in the place was marked, was priced.
Okay, well, there you go.
So, it can obviously be done. It was a nice, clean, well-lit shot.
Hi, John. Stout.
Hey, what's up, John?
Hi, John. Oh, where's the camera now? Hi, John. I'm used to the camera being over there. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. But, so if you're not going to be there, like if you're not going to be here this weekend, your employees know what everything's priced.
Yeah.
Because there's a price on it.
Because it's priced.
Yeah. Nobody has to call up, and and it saves you in the end too, because
it does.
You get so busy with, like even today when I came in, you were busy with a customer picking up more collections, which that's insane. The number of collections you've been grabbing.
Oh my God, no.
No. But if you had to stop and look up, even Overstreet, look up every book that came.
Oh yeah. No,
you don't have
can't
time
do
for
that.
all that.
No, you don't have time for that stuff. This is the way I price stuff and the way I do stuff. When I price everything that's out there, it's for me and it's for you and the customers that come in.
Yeah.
It makes it much easier for me because I can get the, I can do the restock quickly. It makes it easier for you because you know what the price is. You know what condition it is. You know what book it is. I put the title, the issue number, the price, and then the condition or any other notes or comments that need to be on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what you're getting.
Right.
And you know how much it is. And my employees know what you're getting. And they know how much it is. So they know how much to ring into it shouldn't be that difficult of a situation. It's like, come on.
Well, I think it's a case that if you're micromanaging it to the point, if you got to the point where you have to look up every single book that comes up, you can't be that successful, because if you're successful, you don't have time to do that.
Yeah. Then how do you run 8 stores like that?
Like, I can just imagine, even with 2 of you in this store working on, you wouldn't even have to be busy if you had 3 or 4 customers come in at the same time.
Oh yeah.
And we all brought stuff up to the register. Like, one of you looking it up, the other one, it's
you can't do it.
It doesn't make sense.
And
then we would just go down the street to the next shop.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, why would you sit here and do that?
I think that's.
And I wouldn't blame you for 2 seconds for doing that.
We're really lucky. I think every shop in Utah, I think every shop in Utah prices like they just price it, and then that's what you pay for it.
Yeah.
You may have different methods of pricing,
different price structures.
Yeah.
Sure. But I mean, that's the thing is I think everybody's stuff is priced, and now as far as I know, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, anywhere I've ever been around here, everybody has their stuff priced and out on the floor, so people. It sounds crazy, but so people can buy them.
I would say at least every comic shop. To me, you're not a comic shop if you don't sell new books.
Yeah,
you're an antique shop if you sell.
That's
a secondhand store.
No, that's really true.
If all you're selling is back issues.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the same with a music store or with a card shop or really anything. If you're that shop, yeah, you've got to sell new stuff.
Yeah,
you have to. Because it's like a car dealership. You have your used cars and you have your new cars. Of course, there's more money in the used because you'll buy them lower, buy in bulk, whatever.
Right.
But you've got to get those people in the door with something fresh and new, which is your weekly stuff.
And that's very true. There are secondhand stores, and we've got thrift shops. I mean, there is
right, yeah,
the DI and which is desert industries for you non-Utahns. It's like
I thought it was named after Princess Diana.
Yeah, it's like the Salvation Army stores, but it's specific to the LDS Church. It raises money for their charities. So
the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yes. So we've got those, but I'm talking specifically about the small resale shops that have, and there's one like 2 blocks away from my house. And this irks me when these shops do this, but they have a pile of comic books sitting next to a pallet of stuff that they bought at a pallet auction, and they're selling both, and they don't know anything about the comic books. And get mad at me because I tell them they're Spider-Man #1 with the water stains and the ripped cover isn't worth anything, and they've got $75 on it. They've had $75 on.
How long have they had that there?
It's been over a year now. They've had that book in the store.
I wonder where they can sell it.
And the owner, I talked to the owner's mother, oddly enough, because she runs the store for him. And I told her, I'm like, these books are not worth that. I'm not interested. She's like, you are. You just want a lower price. I'm like, no, I'm really not. I don't want them anywhere near my books because my books are clean. Because they got like spores on them and stuff. I'm like, you get rid of those before you expose them to any other books. But then I went in a couple weeks later to look at some other stuff that she had, and she's like, my son said that you were just trying to get one over on us, so we don't want you in the store. Like, all right.
What?
All right. Well, your son can try to sell his $75 Spider-Man. I mean, it's black and silver, but
so that's like, I think it's like $25 in near mint. Yeah.
Honestly, it's not worth that to me either. I got like 20 of them. I don't know why.
No, it shouldn't be worth that much. It should be worth $10. It should be a $10. But no, God, that's so crazy. Well, you won't be talking to my mother. She won't be running the store because it's Black Cat Comics, not Ghost Mom Comics. Yeah. So that would be weird, if you came in and ectoplasm. Let me ring you up.
I mean, the mom was really great, and she's very supportive of what her son was doing. I mean, he had some great books there. Like he had some really cool books there.
But you just run into just a full line of moms running comic shops.
I did.
Well, that's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, Mad Viking Comics and Lincoln. That's a really cool one. And I ran into another one. Where was that? Omaha, Nebraska. I'm gonna have to look all these up because I got old man memory.
It was the place in it is flat.
Trade-A-Tape Center. So Trade-A-Tape Center again in Lincoln, Nebraska. Went into that one, and it is a comic book shop. So cool.
Trade-A-Tape?
Trade-A-Tape Center. They started selling albums and 8-track tapes.
Oh, wow.
Like not even cassettes, like eight tracks,
Jeez,
and
okay.
buying, selling, and then they got out of music a while back and into comic books, and like real nice, well put together, clean, great prices on stuff,
Hmm.
extremely knowledgeable staff, really friendly. They were pretty awesome. I really
Sounds like
enjoyed
I
that
would
store.
enjoy that.
And it was a comic book store.
Nice.
Like we were having a conversation, and that was the only. I mean, Mad Vikings sold new comics, so I guess under my definition that'd be a comic book store. But it really felt more like that's where the dude was warehousing his personal collection and
Comic
all
and
the cool
a
things.
comic and hobby store, maybe.
Yeah, but all he had was comics. He didn't have anything
Oh.
but comics. They traded tape. I went in there and had the conversation with the guy, and they've been around for longer than you, like 30 years,
Oh, wow.
forever. But they started out in music, but all they sell is comics. There's no magic cards. There's nothing. And he's like, yeah, I'm pretty proud of the fact that I'm around and all I do is comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, people can't do it anymore these days. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Because I know a guy. I know a guy. Watch on Thursday. So if you're watching us from Traded Tape,
Yeah.
you guys have an awesome store.
Traded tape.
Yeah.
Traded tape.
Yeah, they're on like, I think he said he was on like the second or third owner of the place. So this guy had only owned it for like 3 years. But,
Traded tape.
and I let a book slip out of my feet. I should have bought it when I was there. He had that Batman, what it's 3 or 655 first Damian Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
He had that, and a beautiful copy it was super cheap too. It was a beautiful copy for $90, and I just think that's way overpriced on that book.
The price that it is too much.
I think so.
Yeah, but speaking of, hey, we only do comics, no ancillary stuff, and blah blah blah. Right? We do. I've always had that, or not always, but for the past 4 or 5 years, I've had a little spot with a couple of pops on.
Yeah.
Nothing big, nothing major.
Do you order those new, or is that stuff that comes in off trade?
Most of them are new.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I get people to bring pop collections in, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to pay you what you see online for this stuff, man. Right. I'm not a pop store. If you want pop collector prices, there's other stores. You can take them there. Yeah. And I'm not going to give you that kind of money for those things. So, no. But the thing that I was going to bring up, you've heard about the Funko situation, haven't you?
What, the crash in that market? Oh yeah.
The latest news?
No, I don't know.
Apparently, the plant in Seattle is closed.
Wow. Okay.
And they are throwing away, not giving away, not cheap selling. They're throwing away $30 million worth of unsold inventory so they can take it as a tax write-off. That's what kind of trouble they're in.
Wow. That's crazy.
I always thought that they looked like they were like Beanie Babies on meth because of the guys. I always refer to them as like the new Beanie Baby.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's like, yeah, well, I think all these different trends, like the spec trend and the, Funko trends and all that stuff, I think it just sticks around longer because of the internet.
Right. Because it can reach out further that way.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. And, and it goes, it's like, it's the same thing. It's like, here's that weird market that may or may not do well, the Beanie Babies, the Funkos, the whatever, and you've got that market and it just goes like this, right? Well, in the 80s and 90s, that market could do this. And then maybe if you went to a different city or a different state, you go to a couple other shops, it's like, okay, and then eBay came along early, and you're like, okay, well, whatever, all right, fine. Yeah. And then it just kind of went away, right? Now it seems like it starts out like that. And because everybody's globally connected, and you've got this, and then it just shoots out with all these tendrils all over the place, like Hydra or a weird hentai comic. Sorry.
Not your normal.
Why did I say weird
comic.
hentai?
It's got to be
Right?
a weird
Yeah,
one.
right. Anyway, so
don't look that up
these
online. By the way,
tendrils,
a new Ford commercial.
Right? Yeah, the Ford Tendril.
Yeah.
Their new electric car, the Ford Tendril, gets 400 miles per gallon. Yeah, all those tendrils are out there, and it takes a while to get them back in now.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at this stuff. Like, there are places around, because we are globally connected now. There are places around that still haven't gotten the memo that a brand new book off the shelf that's $3.99 is not worth $25.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? There's still people out there that haven't gotten that memo. There's still people out there that are like, oh, I'm going to invest in Funko Pops. And I just never thought that was a really good idea. And I know there's a lot of people that have made a ton of money off of that. And, I always say, hey, good for them. Yeah. Good for them. That's awesome. I'm never going to invest in that. And because I know, again, living through the 90s, I've
Right.
seen how this turns out. And people, like the shop I used to go to, way back when, they were just like, oh God, yeah, I mean, we sold so much in the 90s. Like they just made so much money in the 90s with everybody investing. They paid off their house, they didn't have a mortgage, and then things started going down. They had to take out a mortgage, and they took out another mortgage, and then they finally closed. You know what I mean? And it's like, that stuff happens, especially if you sit on it for too long.
Right. But it's also cyclical.
It is.
I mean, look how much we were spending like 3 months in. How much were we willing to pay for Spawn #1 in 1990, or the X-Men #1?
Yeah.
Claremont X-Men stuff.
I mean, the Spawn stuff finally after 30 years is selling for what they used to sell them for then. You know what I mean? It's like it's taken 30 years for the price to catch up with the spec price.
Yeah.
No.
I think, and I mean, $25 for Spawn #1, and you can still get them for that. A lot of people are asking. I've seen $150, $175 for that book, raw, which is just stupid.
If I've got
them for $25,
and if I've got a near perfect one, like 92 or above, I'm going to price it at the book value, which is $55. If it's got any little ding on it, that's going to go for $15, $20, maybe $25, and it's still in perfectly good condition. And that's what I was talking about to that guy that brought this stuff in today when you came in.
Collection.
Yeah. And I said, look, and he's like, well, what if I sold them all on my own? And I said, well, here's the problem with that is, you're going to put, oh yeah, this is the first Carnage, and I want $200 for this. You know what I mean? And you're going to get it up there. They're going to find those little bins. They're going to send that back to you. You're going to pay for the shipping back. So You're paying shipping both ways, and you have to refund them the money because it's not what you said. So if you're selling stuff online, you've got to be a near expert.
Yeah.
And, because then, they're going to come after you. And they're going to be like, no, this is not what I bought. And you're going to get screwed on. You're going to lose money. You're not going to make anything. And that's kind of how I've always felt with the Funko stuff too. Yes, I do have pops. I've got maybe 20 of them.
Yeah.
I take them out of the box. I put them where I want them. I set them up. I do my thing. I've got the little horror ones in my liquor cabinet. The tiny ones, and then, I got a couple others here and there. It's mainly horror stuff that I get, but I mean, I like the ones that look like the characters could be pops, like, Jason Voorhees and Chucky,
right?
Sam from Trick or Treat, stuff like that. They look like pops anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, I never try and resell those online or anything, and because, even if you have like those up there, nobody online is going to pay the collector prices for them, because they're going to get them and they're going to be like, oh, there's a little thing in the corner on the box. And I'm like, oh, you're buying the toy, not the box. No, it has to be perfect. I'm not in the Funko resale business,
Right.
so I just look like an idiot if I put them up.
Yeah, and the real funny thing about what has happened to the pop market is I don't think we would be where we're at now with collectibles if it weren't for pops. I think pops were the one thing that they kind of got people interested, got people looking at comic books, and got people really interested. And they did it based on the Marvel movies, but pops expanded out so far. That's why we see, college co-eds walking around with ACDC t-shirts.
Yeah,
because
right.
they don't know who Angus Young is, but they got that Funko Pop.
Yeah.
And kind of made it cool. So it's kind of sad to see them kind of going by the wayside, because I think that they're largely responsible for bringing back a lot of these mediums.
But they're also largely responsible for showing all these comic companies and everything else. The more you make, the more money you get, and that's not necessarily the right way to do it. I think they spend it too much.
Mid 200s probably. Oh, I forgot I can do this.
Oh, what?
Mid 200s, probably 295 or so.
Oh, for Spawn? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that I refer to it, I've heard it referred to as the second century Spawn stuff, because it's everything from like I'm trying to think what numbers were. It was like 120 something all the way up to like 270,
250, something like that.
It starts to die off.
But do you know why though?
Because they were low print runs.
Yeah, because nobody was buying it, man. Nobody was buying Spawn at that point. And I used to, 15 years ago? Like 15 years ago, and I was buying maybe a dozen copies of Spawn from the store. And you know what? They weren't selling.
You're not buying a dozen anymore.
No, I'm not. But it is going down. My orders are going down. So
just as they're kicking up to 3 covers again.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's a correlation there. I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
That and 5 titles.
Yeah,
that didn't help. No, a varying quality from what I understand.
I think what we're seeing really in the hobby, and we're seeing this across the board, because I dabble in Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons.
I dabble in Magic.
I dabble
occasionally. Yeah. Occasionally, I'll pull out a spell book and make someone disappear.
Incinerate. So one thing that I've noticed is, like, and this is cyclical as well. There is a huge difference between a speculator-driven market and a hobbyist-driven market, in all of these things.
Yeah.
Right now, what we're seeing is a return. We're getting rid of the speculators and getting more into the hobbyists. And when that happens, we're going to see, in my opinion, we're going to see more of the ratio variants, the RI ratio, not store exclusives, but the RI variants, the 1 in 10s, 1 in 25s, unless, of course, you're Berserker.
God, that's down.
That's a different animal.
But, yes, it is.
A lot of your common RIs are starting to creep up in price. The Batman 3 Joker stuff, I didn't care for those RIs, those kind of funky colors that they did on those. Didn't care for those, but they're starting to gain some ground value-wise at the moment. The DC character, and it's funny, it's a lot of what we're seeing is DC stuff starting to really, because the collectors are like, wow, I should have bought that. Now I have to find it, and
that, I think you're going to run into that, mid 200s Spawn situation with some of this. I mean, you had when New 52 started, you had these huge print runs, and
Right.
Justice League went to what 10 printings, I think 9 or 10 printings. The
Wow.
Justice League one, the Jeff Johns one.
Oh yeah.
And everything else in that, all those other first issues went to at least a second print. Some 3, 4, 5 prints. And there were so many of those ordered, and then people were kind of hot on it. And then as soon as they weren't hot on it, bam, it just died. Nobody was interested. Print run went down, and so they had to do the rebirth. And then those went down a little bit. And then we had COVID and the different, distribution model and all that kind of stuff. And at that point, there were actually a lot of shops that were like, okay, well, I'm not buying all the second tier and below DC books. There are a lot of shops that just wouldn't buy DC anymore.
Right.
They just flat out said, no, man, we're not dealing with it. I had to very carefully look at my numbers at that point. Because I didn't know what was going to happen.
I remember having a conversation. You were on the fence. That there was a while there that you were actually considering not carrying DC books.
Mm-hmm.
Another shop in town stopped carrying DC books. They were done at that point. They weren't going to carry DC because indies were coming out strong, and they still had Marvel, and they were doing fine with all that, and they didn't want to mess with another distributor. It wasn't until they bought the other store in town that they're like, okay, now we can have 2 stores. We can pull the DC from here and bring it down here, and start looking at that type of thing. But a lot of stores. I
considered it, and then I considered it, and then I realized no, and there's no way, that I can run a successful store without having Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and Justice League and Flash. You know what I mean? And there's no way you can do that.
Well, and Flash was the super hot title at that point. Mm-hmm. For some reason, Flash was really big at the beginning of the pandemic.
And I think we will run into that situation though. Because if nobody was ordering them, we're going to run into that print run on the super low thing again. And now with James Wynn. James Wynn.
All right.
The guy that did Birdemic? No. James Gunn. You could not get 2 more different people right there, could you? James Garner, James Taylor, I don't know, whatever.
I'm a little afraid of James Gunn taking over Superman.
I'm
that
not.
Scares me.
Man, I'm not.
He's not the one.
I don't know. Nobody else has done it right since the 70s, I don't think.
Yeah.
So why not? We need something new, something different. But with him talking about all the things that are coming up, that has really, really pushed the DC back issue sales here.
Yeah. Well, and I've been talking about this for years at this point. Everybody was so heavily concentrated on not just Marvel, but MCU characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't care about Hellcat.
Yeah.
They cared about Iron Man, Thor, Spider-Man. If it was on screen in the MCU and then on Disney Plus, that's what they cared about.
Yeah.
And all of the great DC stuff kind of fell off.
Right.
Yeah. And DC panicked and threw everything they had into Batman.
Yeah.
And everything around Batman.
Yeah.
And then there got to be too much Batman.
Yeah.
That's not even
a mistake.
Not even a great Batman movie could save it at that point.
Yeah.
Because that last one was a great Batman movie.
Yes, it was. Maybe that's why 3 Jokers is moving, because we now have 3 Jokers on screen.
That's true.
I actually do.
If they took that story, I thought 3 Jokers was a great story.
I
I
liked
think
it.
they did a good job with it.
Yeah.
If they took that and adapted that, they could do a trilogy of movies. That would be outstanding.
That would be really weird, but it would work.
It would be fantastic.
I would say that would be an HBO Max. 3 6-episode miniseries.
Yeah.
Maybe 40 minutes per episode. You have to delve into all of them. And then on the those last maybe 2 or 3 episodes. You know, you can bring the next one in 2 or 3 episodes before that season ends.
And whatever you do while creating this, don't let Jim Woolley even walk by the studio.
No.
Keep him as far away from that project as
you got Hush in there, right? You got Hush is in there, right? Hush is the Joker, right?
Man, trade him off to Marvel for that period of time. Do something.
Okay, I hear you guys are doing the 3 Joker stuff. Now, I've got an idea on how to slip the Wildcats in there.
There you go.
What do you say, huh?
Let's grab Angela, bring her over.
What if we had Grifter, Hush, and somebody else with bandages or a scarf on their face? Yeah, those be the Jokers. What do you say, huh? No, I think it'd be interesting to do that. I kind of feel like they were in a position there. They had written themselves into such a corner with the Joker stuff, and that they were. It was almost a response. Like people were like, why are there basically 3 different Jokers in your universe?
Yeah,
and they were like, oh yeah, because we meant to.
Yeah,
here it is. We're gonna write a thing. We meant to do that. But no, you did not. But I think they wrote the Roy out of it pretty well.
I have found that I do think that I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so I've been saying for like 3 years now that DC, Silver Age DC, is like it. I've been buying it up and stashing it away because I know that was going to come on strong, and it's really starting to hit its stride right now.
Well, I've been sitting on it for a while. You know that.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to.
Well, you got some great Silver Age DC in your collection.
Yeah.
Personal collection.
Oh yeah. I even had like some like later Golden Age, like World's Finest and Superman and stuff like that, and in the shop here, and that stuff has been moving too.
Yeah, I just picked up a Superman 133 from Traded Tape when I was in Lincoln. The one where Superman's jumping out of an airplane with paratroopers because he joined the army. I love that cover.
Oh man!
So
yeah. Nobody when they were making that book was like, "Why does he need a parachute?"
No, he's not wearing a parachute.
Oh,
they're saying they're on the cover and like you have all these paratroopers, and they're like, what is the wording on it? It's like Superman's jumping 3 miles out of an airplane without a parachute. He is a real super soldier.
Copyright infringement, whatever. I can see him just like kind of floating. They've got all their equipment. They're doing their stuff, and he's just floating around like, what's wrong? Because that's how he rolls.
Aggressively relaxing, digging my hoodie. This is what I like.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got to show you a picture of somebody in a Captain America costume that looks somewhat similar to that.
I've got a Mandalorian like that as well. I use them as Halloween costumes because the grandkids dress up. We were the Avengers one year. This was my Captain America.
Nice.
Yeah.
I could be. Who could it be? Who's the Bald Avenger? I could be the Bald Avenger. That could be my name.
That could be the name of the new book.
Yeah. There you go, the Bald Avenger.
Yeah.
Jason Aaron. No, he's off Avengers. Okay.
So, Hellcat.
So good.
I'm a little disappointed. I didn't even know it was coming out, really.
Like, well, come on, me. Yeah.
I love me some Patsy.
This is really awesome. They brought Hetty back.
Nice.
It is Christopher Cantwell who was writing the Iron Man stuff when they put her in the annual. And this is basically, I think, a response from the to the annual, to all the feedback that came when people were like, "Yes, we need a Hellcat series." And it's a murder mystery.
Nice.
And it, surprisingly, a somewhat graphic one in certain parts. It's pretty. And what is it? Is it a teen plus? Yeah, I mean they're pushing the teen plus situation on that.
Really?
There's some gore in it, and there's a lot of those first 4 or 5 pages are just blood.
Nice.
You know, it's got Hellcat is on the first page. Most playing. She's in the back of a police car. You know, I don't love the art, but the story's good enough that it compensates. You know? So she's in the back of a police car. She's got, you know, her mask is ripped up, her costume's ripped. You know, she's got blood on her and blood all over her hands, and you know, she's a mess, and they're arresting her for murder. So she has to figure out who it is.
Nice.
So it's really cool. I mean, it's really good. I was so happy because there's nothing I hate worse than a bad Hellcat book. You know, but even a bad Hellcat book is a Hellcat book.
So I'm gonna have to add that one to my poll now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
Because I'm a big fan of the Hellcat.
Mm-hmm.
Defiant just came out this week, so there's another new book.
Oh yeah, Star Trek.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And Defiant's my jam.
Star Trek Defiant. It's 18A.
Defiant's coolest starship of all time.
Yeah.
I dig it. So I know that means nothing to you, but to Trek fans,
It means it's cool. It's pretty cool. It means I don't know.
So anything new going on?
I'm happy for you. Yeah, we got a little battery in the phone. That's
Low battery. New?
Yeah.
Breaking news.
God, what is new? Ah, man. God, besides like the Funko thing, got me a new Batman on there.
New
Batman. Yeah.
That is pretty cool. You
Yeah,
did a good job on that one.
Neil Adams one that Neil drew for me a long time ago.
Like any new guests coming to the shop?
Yeah, we're gonna have for the anniversary. Doug is gonna be here. Doug Wagner, and Phil CV. For now, that's who it is. But you know, we got some cool stuff. Phil just did that. Or Philip. Sorry, Philip.
All fans.
Yes. He just did that book with Mulder.
That's
his name. Yeah, Mulder. What's his name? David Duchovny.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they did a book together.
Yeah, he wrote it, and then Phil drew it.
Nice.
He drew it. He's a drawer. And yeah, by that time, all of the issues of Plush will be out. So I can sign all those. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool.
I haven't even read issue 1 of Plush yet.
That's his best book he's done.
I know.
Come home and read it.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The Bleak Haven kids have some
crowd here.
No, you're good.
You're
no,
fine.
go ahead. No, basically, it adds to the realism of the show.
I couldn't eavesdrop from over there, so I need to get closer.
That's totally fine. No, you're good.
That way people don't think we're AI.
Yeah.
So,
yes, we are not. We are like real people. How they talk.
I promise we are real.
The Rush is deep faking a couple.
Please
guys.
press 1 for more information on comic.
Really?
But yeah, it's tough shit.
All right.
Yeah.
Cantwell's pacing makes me feel like watching a TV show.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that.
Oh, the Defiant. It's a tough little ship. It is.
The Defiant. Okay. I'm like, Hellcat's a tough little ship.
Defiant space, the spaceship that they gave Worf on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So anyway, the Bleak Haven kids have something big that they're working on.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good size big.
Yeah.
They may be going places. I'm very excited. And I will wait till they're ready to announce. But
Are they doing a book with Scully?
there you go.
Are they being Defiant?
They are Defiant at times.
Oh, indeed.
So some really cool stuff going on their front. Star Trek current comic writer said that Defiant is supposed to be a companion book to Trek.
Oh yeah, to the ongoing one.
Yeah, the Trek stuff lately has been really good. They've done a really good job with all that. I thought they did this kind of mirror universe stuff. So it was really good.
Yeah, I just hope they don't OD on it. I hope they just keep themselves under control.
I get a little concerned because the number of covers.
Yeah.
With the downturn in the market until I get something else going, things have been tight financially with the business.
Mm.
So I haven't spent as much on comics. and the options at this point are either you don't get every cover, so you can get other books, or I don't know what the options are. Like, it's tough. Picking up my whole day, I get a nice stack, 2 weeks worth.
Yeah, but you just did a bunch of pressings for me, so that'll offset a little bit.
But it's just do I keep going with all the variants on all the titles that I read?
Yeah.
Or do I get one and have a bigger selection to read?
I have that conversation with myself all the time.
I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like getting all the covers because I want to support these books. But at what point it kind of feels like they're taking advantage of you? You know?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, there's some sucker out there that's buying all 12 covers of Defiant #1.
Yeah. Yeah, so they went from cover A with a incentive to cover A and B with an incentive, like at 1 in 10,
Right.
and then cover A and B with a 1 in 15, and then cover A and B with a 1 in 15 and a 1 in 25, and then cover A, B, and C with a 1 in 15 and a 1 in 25 and a 1 in like 50, I think. And I'm like, okay, come on, come on, yeah, knock that off.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy 50 of them. I'm not going to sell 50 copies of Star Trek. I'm going to sell 30 copies.
And at that point, I might have to reconsider because I've been getting all the ratios.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm not going to get the ratio anyway, then like, what's the point? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do.
No,
I
you'll stick with it because you love it.
I do love it.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
I buy every cover, and Spawn, I buy every cover. But at this point, you're buying 15 books a month to read 5.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're getting about 4 or 5 titles, right? Yeah. No, believe me, I know. Oh my God, do I know? And it's ridiculous.
I mean, that's well, Spawn's $2.99, so that's not 10 more books, but that's 7 or 8 more books that I could be reading.
Yep.
I hear the new Amazing Spider-Man has been really good.
I think they're finally getting to where they need to be with that. They're finally starting to wrap that story, and talk about what happened, what naughty Peter has done. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. There's a lot.
I could be reading 2 Batman titles instead of just 1.
I mean, Bueller. I got you covered. Somebody named Comics with Bueller has got some exclusive Ninja Funks.
His exclusive for Ninja Funk is super cool. It is super cool. And the T-shirts, if what you showed on your Instagram is the T-shirt you're going with, those are super cool too.
Yeah.
He said he's going to be popping through town. We'll have to.
Oh, cool. Oh, you can see him again. Okay, I got a question. Ninja Funk. What does the title mean? Because in my mind, it's just ninjas that have been fighting and they haven't showered. It can't be that, right?
No, I doubt it.
No, what does it mean? Like, are they funky? Are they funky ninjas?
I have no idea, but who is that? Black Box?
No, that's Whatnot.
Ninja Funk?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
I thought it was Black Box.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. It's a. God, if we only had a. That's exactly what it is.
All right.
Well, the gods have spoken.
So Jarvis is going to be here mid-April.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Right on. We'll see you then, man.
Well, if you're here on a Thursday, you can sit down with us and
talk
about books.
Yeah, come on Thursday. I'll move out of the way. I'll move my stupid self.
Get your Ninja Funk involved.
Stinky ninjas. It is stinky ninjas. It is.
All right, very cool.
I was hoping it was like a 70s ninja movie where they came in, and there's like somebody with a and then they fought with some funky music.
Playing the trombone.
Yeah.
Ninja trombone. Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we are, man. A traveling funk band that also does ninja stuff. I like that too. That's good. That's good.
That's good stuff. All right. Well, it has been way over our time.
Ah, boy, that's different.
We never ramble on past our expiration date.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So if you're watching, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in Wednesday, where we go down the wall. Didn't do it this last week because I was traveling. Last couple of weeks been traveling, but we'll go down the wall live and let you know all the new books that have come out for the week. And then every Thursday, this show, Everything's Late, Nobody Dies, where sometimes we have a subject, sometimes we don't,
sometimes we're bad.
Stuff comes out, and you never know. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the bell to
Tinky,
to get notified whenever these shows go live.
Tinky.
All right, we'll see you later, traders.